Hello, everybody. This is Mohammed Taher. I work for the Mercy Care. I'm a community development worker that I've been working with the Many Hands One Heart, the supporting group for the LGBT plus people seeking asylum and refugees. Welcome to the first episode of the season 2 of Mic Drop. Today, we're going to talk to one of the members of Many Hands One Heart, Ariane, about her life. How are you, Ariane?
I'm all right. Morning, everyone.
All right. Just basically, I know that you got your status, refugee status. When did you get that? Was it last year, was it?
Yeah, I think it's already almost 2 years now. It
Oh,
was
is
in
it 2 years?
2019. Yeah.
Oh, well, time goes fast when you enjoy
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I was there with you in the court, and I
Yeah.
was there when you got the status. Just tell us a little bit about how you felt when that happened and what sort of a thing you had in your mind about your future.
I was very happy because obviously it's a step forward, and I was also very positive about what I really wanted to do. So yeah, I was happy.
Yeah. And you always wanted to do something with your education, further education, because that's one of the things you always were telling me that you wanted to go to university and stuff like that. How did you manage it? Have you actually achieved anything in regard to that?
Yeah, because when I got my refugee status, like 3 months after I was accepted to uni, because I got it like in May and I started uni in September, which I was very happy about that. So yeah, it was pretty much good.
What are you doing? What are you studying?
Nursing, adult nursing.
And in which university are you?
In HA University in Omskirk.
So it is your second year now, is that right?
Yeah, I'm a September 19 cohort, so this is my second year, yeah.
It's quite nerve-wracking when you start a new thing, in your life. How did you feel when you went to the university for the first time in another country that's not yours and you didn't know anyone? I do, and also, what sort of a financial strain did you have on you going to the university? Was it difficult, or, you know?
I guess it was a bit difficult because as a refugee, you don't have a lot of support. Like if, for example, you were born in the UK and you knew you had family to lean on for tiny things and stuff like that. So it was very much hard for me. But I got through. It was hard because I had to find everything like accommodation, everything at the same time, and it was pretty much hard.
And
Yeah.
financially was hard as well for you, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was hard because you get allocated student finance, but actually it's not that enough because you have to think of the fact that, oh, you just got your status, you still have to look for accommodation, you have nothing, no spoon, no nothing, like you have nothing. So you can't apply for council things because technically you're a student, and you can't either wait for council accommodation because technically they want you to pay for your own housing because you have student finance. So it was quite hard getting accommodation, and yeah, it was very hard.
Just basically by council thing, you mean housing benefit? You couldn't get any housing benefit, so you had to basically from whatever rent and money you were getting from grants or loan from university that had to cover for you. And also, where is Edge Hill University? You live in Liverpool. Where is Edge Hill University?
It's in Ormskirk. It's a bit far. I have to travel like 1 hour, 30 minutes every morning.
That was another cost for you, wasn't it? It was quite difficult.
Yeah, because you have to travel like every morning and every evening back home, and it's hard because to travel, if your classes start at 9 o'clock, I usually wake up like 5 and I have to be out by 6 to be sure that I'll be on time because it's almost like 1 hour and a half from here to Ormskirk. So yeah.
And I mean, for the people who don't know Ormskirk, I've been to Ormskirk a few times. It's not very diverse city, is it? So what is the university like? Is it very diverse? Did you see a lot of people from Africa or the same color as yourself, or were you just like, one of the few?
I think I was just one of the few. Like, there's not a lot of black people. Like, you can count from the tip of your hands. Like, it's not very. It's diverse. I guess it's diverse, but not that much for black minorities. It's very, very scarce. Yeah.
And did you get involved in anything regarding the refugees, in helping other refugees, in Liverpool or in UK? Because another thing was I know about you is you're still very committed to help other people, you know, in regard to detention centers and all that. Can you tell us a little about that?
Yeah, I did a small talk with This Walls Must Fall, which is a campaign against immigration detention. So a couple of times we came to uni to just share raise the awareness, and most of the students even know if it exists, like detention. They were just wowed, they didn't know it exists. Yeah, so it was a good campaign just to stop immigration detention.
Why did you get involved with that? Just originally, what interests you to get involved with what was it called? These Walls Must Fall, is it? What's it called again?
Yeah, These Walls Must Fall campaign, yeah. I got involved with it because when claiming asylum, I was at risk of detention. I actually was going to sign every time, and I was very scared I would get detained. And I know a couple of friends who were detained like for 6 months or more. So it's quite a scary process, and I don't think it's fair enough. So I just felt like I have to get involved more. Yeah.
One of your housemates was, if I remember rightly, she was detained in a detention center, wasn't it? So
yeah. One of my housemates when I was in asylum, yeah. She was detained like for I think almost 2 months, yeah.
And well, I mean, obviously there was a lot of financial problems, you know, difficulties, adjusting yourself and all that. I do remember then you came to me, asked me if I could be your referee or write a reference for a job, you know, in the care home.
Yeah.
Why did you want to work? You know, what was the reason behind it?
I just felt that I was very much struggling financially, and I felt like immediately you're a refugee, you're like left in the world, and then you don't know which direction to take, because you just see, oh my God, I have to have a house, I have to have this, I have to have that. And obviously I could have been on benefits and been like staying in a house where housing association does that everything for me, but I couldn't have that opportunity because I chose to school first. So when you choose to school, you're not entitled to any sort of benefits on only student finance and everything. So I found it very necessary for me to have a job, to be able to have at least a spoon or a cooker or whatever at home. And yeah, that's why I really wanted to do like have a job, like a normal job.
And then you got the job in a care home just before was it last March, just before this lockdown and all, or was it after lockdown?
Yeah, I think it was around February, yeah. 2020.
Okay, just tell us a little bit about it. What was it like when you went there to work? Because, well, you know, were you scared, you know, in regard to COVID, and did you have any help? Did they give you any sort of like PPE or masks or anything like that sort of thing?
I think I was quite scared because obviously you're putting your life at risk, but you have to weigh the good and the bad, because if you don't do that, then we will do that for you. You know what I mean? So I was very scared at first. Like the first day I went, I was like very scared because I didn't have a lot of experience. I just had experience from uni, from placements and stuff like that. So I was quite scared. And given the fact that there was COVID, I was like, it's really scary. And I remember with my agency, I got sent twice to places where there were COVID patients, and I wasn't aware of that. And I think that was at the really beginning of the COVID last year. So I got sent to twice to 2 different care homes. And when I got there, I remember I said I was like ready to go in, and then immediately they told me, "Oh, do you have PPE and everything?" And I was like, "No, I've not been trained to know how to do the doffing and the donning of putting on PPE and everything." And then they were like, "Oh, because this is a COVID residence house," and I was like shocked. So what I did is that I called my agency and I asked, and I told them I couldn't go because obviously they just shipped me in without letting me know what was really going on. And it was really at the really beginning. So when everyone was very, very scared, it was like very...
I do remember when you came back home from the first day, I talked to you because they didn't give you any masks or any PPE or anything like that. And if I remember rightly, you were crying. You were too scared, weren't you? But you carried on.
Yeah, I can't, just because I didn't have choice. I mean, like, just knew I didn't have choice.
Yeah, and then you've basically university, obviously. one of the advantages of the COVID was that you didn't have to travel then to university. You did online, and the university
Yeah.
finished. Did you get any other jobs, or any placements that during this time?
Yeah, because afterwards when I was working with the agency, I just felt like it's worth for me to be in the NHS rather than being with the agencies, because then I know with the NHS is better because you're more protected. I know you're protected in care homes as well, but it's very complicated. Sometimes you reach there's no like law or whatever because you're not a permanent staff, so they might treat you differently. So that's why I applied for bank staff for the NHS, because I just felt like for my placements, I'm still doing placements in the wards in the NHS.
Mhm.
So it's like the same thing working there, and you don't have a choice because that's placement. I know now you have a choice, like if you're at risk, you can't work, like you can do your placement and defer your cost, but it depends on what level of risk you are on. Like, so
Mhm.
I just think you don't have a choice at the end of the day, because if you want to progress, you have to confront it. So yeah, I just decided to work with the NHS to have more experience in regards to unions and stuff. Yeah.
Is this lockdown and online studying and all that, what is it like for you? I mean, obviously you had some sort of difficulties in the beginning to make friends in the university, do you think it's overcome that, or do you still have problems? Obviously, it's more difficult because you don't have any face to face. So I just wanted to know, how is your life, student life, actually, if there is any such student life now?
I just think my student life is the same. Like from now to when we're going to uni, it's quite intimidating because you just find yourself in a whole lot of people, and everyone is coming from different places and stuff, and everyone is distant. Like everyone is doing itself. Like I guess most of the people, they knew themselves from probably college and stuff like that, so they're in groups. So you find yourself like a little bit isolated on your place. And I think the university offers a lot of support, but still, the reality doesn't always match the what you think. So it's
Mm.
quite hard when you're a refugee and then you're a Black minority, and then you have a lot of history, negative history, like from what you've experienced personally, to be able to really make attachments. Because I guess people don't understand your perspective, like from where you come from and stuff like that. So I just think it's the same thing. It's so hard to have friends at uni. For me, I just think it's complicated.
I think it's probably difficult for a lot of people, and also I've seen some news about the foreign students that they are also struggling, in universities, in regard to the financially, there is, and a lot of food banks are full of the, foreign students as well. Okay, just going back to, your life sort of when you start, when you came here, obviously I got to know you through the Many Hands One Heart. You still going to the meetings, Many Hands One Heart? But
Yeah, the online meetings, yeah.
what do you think is obviously I met you when you were, at a certain time that you weren't really well, in regard to your mental health. How do
Yeah.
you feel that, how do you think, in your life is in regard to mental health now, and, in regard to things that happens in your life since then, apart from university, anything else that you want to share with us?
I think I feel quite happy now with mental health or anything, because I feel very much stronger, and I always think I value more what I've become than what I was before.
Mhm.
And I know it's due to a lot of support, Many Hands One Heart, a lot of support around, and I just think that you always have the print like of what you've been through, but you just have to use it and move forward. So I think I'm much more happier now.
Are you on your own?
Now, I don't live on my own anymore because I brought my daughter here. She came through family reunion. I think family reunion. Yeah, like a couple 2 months ago. Yeah.
When was the last time you had seen your daughter before coming here?
It was maybe up to 5 years or almost 5 years.
How old is
Yeah.
your daughter now?
She's 8.
Okay. And how do you feel?
I feel happy. I feel
Okay.
happy. I'm embracing my age coming. to be 27 soon. I'm just embracing.
Okay. All right. Just a few more questions about your future. So
Yeah.
obviously, you're studying, you're in second year. You got another year left. Is that right?
Yeah. I've got one more year after this.
Okay. And what is your plan after that?
I'll probably I work as a nurse for probably 1 year or something, and then try and do my master's in maybe anesthesis or something else. I don't know. Just live my life. Probably.
Okay. So you're planning to sort of settle down here and live your life here and work here and
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Definitely.
Um, Another thing is you said you had some placements in the NHS.
Yeah.
Have you got any other difficulties to finding out placement in other places? Have you got any? Because if a lot of times it's about who you know and you've got contacts. Have you had any difficulties to find other placements in the like in offices, stuff like that sort of thing?
No, not really, because we get allocated placement. It's just of recently that we have a 3 weeks placement in March, and that one was supposed to be international placement, but due to COVID, we've just been asked to find for volunteering somewhere where we can be attributed those hours and stuff. Yeah, but it's difficult to get it because you have to volunteer like in charities, food banks and stuff, but in lockdown everything is closed. So it's quite hard to get it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks very much, Ariane. It's been lovely. I just want Brittany wants to say something as well. Just
Okay.
come in.
Oh, hello everyone. I've been
Hello.
hearing I've been hearing all this interview, and honestly, I'm totally amazed with all of this story, Ariane. Actually, I just told Emily backstage that's what I wanted Mo here, because he knows a lot of details that I don't know.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really, 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 really impressive. All the stuff you've been doing. I didn't knew the stuff about the campaigning against the detention center, which is something really, really, really big in my point of view. Because, fortunately, we are refugees now, so we
Yeah.
are not on risk on that. But we've been in a situation that I remember when I went to report to the Home Office. I was like with anxious all the time, because the way they treat you is like you feel, are they gonna detain me today? Because they can't detain you for without any reason.
Yeah.
So they can say,
I always felt that way too, because I used to wake up in my bed and I'm like shivering till reaching there, like you feel like you have a heart attack or something. And it's real, like you just see your life flying through, you just think you never come back. And it's a real big problem.
I
Yeah.
know. So thank you for being part of that. And as I said, we know about that. We know the struggle. It's horrible the way you feel. And I was also impressed about your all amazing job during this pandemic. It's like completely amazing. And also as a refugee, thank you for being an image and example of that.
Oh, thanks.
And I think that's the purpose of this episode, to remember we are refugees, yes, but we also are person that work, that contribute to this society, Ariane.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's difficult to read a lot of hate in social media, against refugee. And I got a little bit of fame around me lately, and there were a lot of good comments, but there were a lot of also bad comments that I read. And most of these comments is like the perceptions of the refugees. Like they thought, so this guy just came and put a wig on his hand, and now he's gonna have state benefits. He's gonna be lazy for the life, access to social care, and everyone else. But the truth is, we are trying to contribute to this society. That's the other side of the coin. That what we really are doing here. And yes, like you said, there are a struggle trying to access to opportunities. But once
Yeah.
we get those opportunities, we get the best of those opportunities. Like in
It's
your
about
case, you've been fighting against the COVID and risking your life totally the opposite of those shady comments on Facebook that they are just in their sofa eating popcorn. You know, like you are the real hero fighting the crime outside, not shading people on Facebook. So thank you very much for that, Ariane. And
Thanks.
as a refugee, like I said, I'm really proud of people like you, especially because you're also my friend and I know you.
Oh.
Well. And it's amazing, you know. And I know you're being scared because everyone,
Yeah.
we being scared. Everyone has a moment when they being scared. So
I think if it's just like, when the first time I saw Ariane, I knew before through Sahir House and Shireen that she was not well, she was very depressed and she was not, and she was, if you wanted to, the metaphor was just a bird with the broken wings, and she basically learned to, little by little to walk. And she basically got, because of the many hands, one heart, the friendship, the peer support, but also a lot of credits got to go to yourself, Brittany, and people like Ariane and others, because it's a survival, it's fighting every day. And,
Yeah.
what Ariane's done is, it's basically, she didn't go for the easy option. And she basically chose, because from the day that I met, I knew that she had this purpose to want to do her life better and she wants to be independent and she wants, so I'm pretty sure that, you would get there where you want, and
Thank
it's just
you.
been a privilege to know both of you and a lot of members of the refugee community, and people seeking asylum, because even if you didn't do any of those things, what you've gone through to be able to actually sit down and talk about it or do your day-to-day life is a great achievement. So it's been, as I said, it's been a privilege to actually, I don't call it work, it's just a pleasure, to be with you, okay.
I just think also that we have to point out the most important thing in this is that we are refugees, yes, but the word refugee itself has a lot of meaning, because we are refugees not by choice, and then we are refugees. We might be happy here, but I am certain 100% that I would find more happiness in my country if that was possible, because I feel more like it's my roots. Like there's a lot of feelings, memories and stuff, but so just having to let that go is the biggest thing a refugee has to face, because no matter how you know you're not safe somewhere, you still feel like, "Oh, why am I not safe where I'm supposed to be safe, because that's supposed to be where I'm from." So that's what we have to go through every day, and that people have to understand that we are refugees is not just a word. It means you've left a lot behind you. You've had to live it not by choice, because you didn't have a choice. So yeah.
That's great.
that touched me a lot, like a lot, like a lot, because I always tell people that I have a massive group of friends. I mean, in terms of care, it was tiny, but at the same time, it was my world, my friends back there in my country, and just leave them and not be able to hug them, to have a time with them. It's just horrible. Like the way you say, you left everything behind you because you don't have any other choice. It's not something you really like to say. Like, I'm gonna leave everything and going. That it's like you miss a lot of stuff back at home,
Yeah.
and yet you're trying to do your best here. Yeah. And I just wanted to ask you maybe, something related that I said before. Working in this stuff with the NHS, because I'm curious about that. Did you have any struggle, or did you have any difficulties, like in the way they treat you for being a refugee?
I just think they can't look at me and just know that I'm a refugee. I'll think that I'll look at that through more of like being black minority. I just think that one is not about the NHS, it's about like the staff, British people or non-British people, like the staff individuals, because you sometimes it has happened to me sometimes when I've been to shifts where the staff are totally shit with me. Like you can see it, it's not even hidden. Like, or you get you have to be doing the hardest stuff, and they leave you to do the worst bit. Or if they know, oh, there's a COVID patient in that isolation room, they'll say, oh, tonight your shift is about this patient. You understand? So it's more about the racism for that one, I think, and it's more about individually, because I won't say, oh, it's a particular trust or it's the NHS. And I guess it's just the system, because people are racist. Some people are racist, not everybody. So sometimes you get with bad people, and there are a few times where I worked with very nice people that were like very kind. But I just think with this COVID, because people are scared, they tend to bring out their bad character comes out automatically, even if they don't, or even if they're not like that usually. So you reach in the hospital setting and you see perhaps they'll tell you, oh, you have to do this. And then you can't just, even if you say no, at that point, it's your responsibility, because this patient's life can be in danger and you'll be the one at fault. So it's quite intense, but I think it happens a lot, particularly when you're Black minority, and in these times of COVID, they prefer to rescue than themselves, and this is about individuals.
I can confirm that as well, because you're not the only one who said that. I've had a few other people who've been in the care homes, and either they were refugees or from other countries just coming here, like US students and all that. And they said, that they've basically been told from the first day to go do things without training and all that. That's is put them in a danger. And because to choose, first of all, they need the money, but also they're too scared to say no in case they won't get any more jobs, from agencies and stuff like that sort of thing. So again, that is, thinking going to your work every day and have that sort of a danger. It's and also it's a discrimination. It's not fair at all.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I've got no other question to ask. I don't know if anyone else wants to ask any questions or discuss anything else.
I'm just speechless, honestly. And Ariane, I mean, it's like we want to open this space to hear those experiences, but like knowing all a little bit more about this picture, like how you said there's even racists with some person that they prefer to put you in risk because you are Black, and it's like, gosh, because they might be someone that say, I don't care if this person it's it's just learning, we want to put them on risk. I prefer to put them on risk than my own life. And it's like, but at the same time you say like, yeah, it can be a little bit shitty, that situation, but you have also a duty with the patients, and it's like,
Yeah.
It's like that moral thing that is like inside of me, breaking it. Like, yes, I've been put in this uncomfortable situation, but that doesn't mean
Yeah.
in this risky situation, better say, because it was a risky situation, but at the same time, you not give up with the patient.
Yeah.
Take care of them, and it's like Mo say, you're not the only one that say that. There's been a lot of minorities workers that they say that, and it's like mind blowing. It's at some point.
I think it's just about ethics. It's just about like morals against integrity. So it's just about when you're working, you just have to decide what to do, because at the end of the day, it's yours. You have a choice to say no, but when you are an employee somewhere and you're responsible for a patient or for someone in general, even if it's a child, you have to take care of the child irrespective of if you feel like you're not supposed to do that, because at that point it's not about you, the professional or whatever. It's about the patient or the person that needs help or something. So it's quite difficult. So when you get put in those type of situations, you just feel like you have to still do it and complain, but still do it because you don't have just at that point.
Another thing is I don't know about you, but when you work for the agencies, if you're off sick, then you won't get paid. So a lot of times, you got no other options. I don't know if anyone's had, like, I hope not, had actually symptoms of the COVID and gone to work. But that, again, if you've got bills to pay and you've got children to feed and all that sort of thing, that is something that, a lot of times happen. I'm not just talking about the refugees, that happens to a lot of people who work on the agencies. But then again, most of the people who are refugees, they are working through the agencies, they haven't had the, either they don't know or they haven't had the, what do you call it, the information, sort of like, they've got no other option. So that is another thing, is you've got no other option. And I know for the fact that there's lots of times when people see you're permanent there in a hospital or a care home, and you see the situation is getting a little bit, you go off sick, or you don't turn up to the work, or you go look for something else, and that's not probably the case for the part that I just was finished now and all that sort of thing, and then put this out. All right. Thanks very much, Ariane, for this, and thanks very much for Brittany for the, arranging this and this interview. I really enjoy that, and I thank all the listeners as well. And hopefully we carry on. Wish you both all the best in the future. All right.
Thank you.